Hi guys, welcome back to Hilltop Farm and welcome to another happy hour. So, pour yourself a drink, let's have a chat. Right, so what's been going on here? Not a great deal. We have puppies playing in the next room, so that little squeaking noise is that. Not that I have one of my children locked in a cupboard, but you know, maybe it is, but you know, who knows. It is puppies. Right, what have we been doing here? Our Australorp chicks have progressed out of the initial brooder and are now in a pen. They're still under heat lights, but they're in a pen, and it's their first transition into being into a proper chicken coop. Still obviously confined, so to keep them safe, mainly from the farm cat at the moment. Not that she really bothers them, but I wouldn't trust her with little chicks. I think that'd be far too tempting. But once they get to like a half-sized chicken, she's not brave enough to take that on, so she'll leave them alone. We had, do you remember one of the disastrous lot of eggs we had? I think I showed you the comparison. We had light Sussex eggs arrive. We had 2 dozen of those arrive, and we only had 2 broken. Do you remember that? Well, you wouldn't believe it, but of all the rest of them, okay, we only had 3 fertile out of the whole 2 dozen. And one of them died, you know, partway through development. So we've got 2 light Sussex actually hatched. And you remember that I can't remember whether it was a chicken update or whether it was a one of my soapbox moments, but I'm pretty sure I showed you pictures of the scrambled eggs. Well, we managed to salvage a few, if you remember, and they were black copper morans. And when they started hatching, not when we didn't have many left, but I think we had 4. I think we got 4 eggs into the incubator. Anyway, when they started hatching, the first one was yellow. It was a white chick, but like Moran, well, I don't know whether they're like it everywhere, but the Morans in this country have all got, you know, feathering down the legs and on the feet, and it had that. And it definitely came out of a Moran egg. So I contacted the guy that I got them from, and because I haven't had them before, you know, and I said, what colour are black copper Moran babies? Because I assumed they'd be black, and of course I was right, they are supposed to be black. But he said that they get the odd splash. I don't know why. I don't know if that's normal or whether it's just the strain we've got here in Australia or what. But anyway, our first ever black copper Moran baby born here wasn't even black, it was a splash. Anyway, the upshot of that was we got 2 actual black copper Moran babies. The last egg didn't hatch, but we got 2 that did. So fingers crossed for girls. He has also sent me, I don't know if you remember, he said he'd send me replacement eggs. Well, he did that, and would you believe we lost 4 of those in transit, but 8 have made it into the incubator. And I candled them last night, and I'm fairly certain that at least 6 of them are fertile. So, you know, and the object of the exercise was just to get 1 or 2 black copper Moran hens. It is, just so that you're aware, it's about 10 to 5 in the afternoon here, and the dog's feeding time is 5 o'clock. And also my eldest daughter generally gets in from work about 5:30, and we look after, she lives in another cottage on the farm here, and we look after her dog while she's gone. So he starts to get very excited about now, and the others are getting all excited for food. So all this dog noise and what sounds like fighting is actually them playing here. They're all getting excited, so please bear with me with that. But anyway, I'm going to do a chick update. Next week our other eggs are due to hatch. They were the French Wheaten Morans and the Rhode Island Reds. And if you remember, he accidentally put an Australorp egg in there, I don't know if you recall. But anyway, I counted them last night. The Australorp egg is fertile. You know, it was the one we didn't want. But anyway, I think there's only 5, 6 maybe of the Rhode Island Reds, and I think there's only 2, maybe 3, but I think only 2 of the French Wheaten Morans. I mean, most of those got smashed in transit anyway. And he's told me he's going to replace them, but I had Buff Orpington eggs on order, and he's going to wait until he can fill the Buff Orpingtons and then send the 2 lots at the same time. So yeah, I'm not concerned about that at this stage. Probably next week sometime I'm going to be putting down some quail eggs, so I'm going to be filming that for you, because that's something that is perhaps new to a lot of you. So we're putting down some quail eggs, and you watch those go through their cycle, and quite remarkable, the quail. From the time you put it into the incubator to the time it actually lays its first egg is about 2 months, 8 weeks, something like that. It's quite remarkable. So anyway, you can follow that journey with us. Oh yes, I've also spoken to my mother. I heard on one of the YouTubing channels, I think it was Art and Bree, but I wouldn't swear to it, but I think it was Art and Bree, and Art was saying how he wants to talk to a lot of the members, older members of his family, and film it basically, so that they've got that memory, but so that other people can share the knowledge and the information. And because let's face it, the world's changed since our parents and grandparents and so forth were young. It's a totally different world. So my mum's agreed to do that, and I'm going to start filming that probably next week, and I'm going to turn that into a series. I don't just want to talk to her for like half an hour. I want to talk to her for a few hours, and so obviously break it up into episodes. And a lot of you might find that interesting. She's, I think, 76 this year, and she you know, she lived through the Battle of Britain and World War II, lived in London, couple of streets away from the Thames, so sort of right in the middle of it, and the bombing and that. And I can remember growing up listening to my grandparents, you know, tell stories of the war and what life was like. And she's got some interesting stories to tell, and of course she was part of that generation that decided to, you know, up stakes and move to the other side of the world and start a new life, and that's a huge decision. It's not one that I think I could make, and I certainly wouldn't make it lightly. And yeah, so you know, she's got a lot of stories, a lot of information to share, and it's a lot of stuff that a lot of my subscribers won't have heard of, because as I say, you know, majority of you are from the US, and although yes, your parents and grandparents, you know, went through World War II, possibly even served in World War II. Most of them probably didn't actually, you know, go through, live in London through the virtually nightly bombings of London and come out the other end to tell the tale. So it's just something different from the stories you've told. And once you see how I'm doing it, I'd be very interested to see some of my subscribers that have their own channels perhaps think about doing that with some of the older members of your family, because the older generations have so much to share, so much to tell. As I say, I was always fascinated with history, and I as a young kid and a teenager, and always used to sit down with my grandparents, because I used to live next door, and they told me so much about life, you know, before the war and during the war and straight afterwards, and it wasn't just all doom and gloom, you know. They had fun in their own way as well, but it's like it's a whole, it's not just a generation or two, it's a whole nother world, and I'm sure, you know, a lot of you have experienced that with your own parents and grandparents. I just wish we'd have had the technology for me to be able to film my grandparents. Back when they were around, video cameras were bulky, great things that cost a fortune. Most people couldn't afford them. But if they were around now, I'd be capturing them for sure. So yes, as I say, so wait and see when the series comes out. See what you think, and see, you'll understand more of what I mean. And I urge you to approach the elder members of your family and do the same. I think it would be fascinating. Also, I don't think I've had a happy hour, which reminds me, I'm getting thirsty all this talking. I don't think I've had a happy hour since we did the what's it called, homestyle dinner collaboration thing that was organised by Two Family Homestead. I thought that was very, very successful. We got a lot of new subscribers, and to those subscribers that came across from other channels after watching that, welcome. There is usually more cooking videos on my channel, but we've had so much going on. Yeah, what with litters of puppies and explosions of chicks, and we're having to sort of plant and get ready for winter crops. So yes, there's a bit of a lull at the moment in our cooking segments, but normally there is more, and they will be back. What else is going on at Hilltop Farm? I tell you what is happening. The Papillon Diaries. They're turning out to be really successful. They were a trial because 3 of the 4 puppies in the litter we've got are going to people in other states. So we decided if we put out a video each week of their progress, and I emailed a link to the new owners, it was a way of them being able to, you know, keep an eye on their puppy, watch it grow, see how it progresses. And it's been a huge hit with them, or it seems to have been, but initially it was mainly for them. It was a case of my subscribers could watch it if they wanted to, but that really wasn't what the channel was about. But they've proved to be a huge success. So just so that you know, they won't be something that will be running every week. They will only be on when we have a litter of puppies. So yeah, so there will be breaks in them where you don't get Papillon Diaries. But those of you that are enjoying them, if that's the reason that you've tuned in and you watch the channel, when they stop, don't disappear. Come across to the channel every week and just check to see what's happening, because as I say, we generally have 3 to 4 litters of puppies a year, so they will come back. And yeah, the chaos really starts when we have 2 litters that actually coincide and overlap, because then there'll be 2 Papillon Diaries per week. So yeah, that'll be fun. Normally the puppies turned 8 weeks old last Tuesday, and normally they're gone to their new homes by now. But as 3 of them are going interstate, the airlines won't take them till they're 10 weeks old. So they're not going till not this coming week, but the week after. And the 3 fly out on 3 consecutive days. So you've got, I think, you've got 2 more episodes of the normal Papillon Diaries, and the last one that I'll show will be after they've gone, and I will actually I'll actually film taking them to the airport and watching them take off, and then I'll put the 3 days worth, if you like, together as a farewell to those puppies. And the 4th puppy is actually staying here with us, continuing on part of the breeding program here at our kennels. So yeah, that's about it really. That's about all that's happening. I think we've got a busy weekend ahead. I think we've got to move a shed. We've got to move one of the chicken coops, and all our kitchen garden. I'll show you all one day. It's in a bit of a mess at the moment, so I'm hiding it from you, but I will show you. But it's all in raised beds, and we've replaced a lot of those raised beds that were looking tatty. So we're in the process of getting rid of the old ones, putting in the new ones. And it just looks awful. So when it's all they're hungry. When it's all in place and looking nice, I will give you a proper garden tour and you can have a look. Yeah, so this weekend we'll see a bit of that, and I think we're loading up the trailer and dumping a whole load of rubbish. As far as I'm aware, I think my eldest daughter's had a spring clean of her place, and she has made a big pile of rubbish that I've complained about, and she said, well, it needs to go to the dump or the tip or whatever you call it, wherever you are. So there'll be a run with the trailer to do that over this weekend too. I think that's about it. I want to thank all of you for coming along and sharing this journey with us. I mean, we've only been had the channel up and running since the beginning of the year. Yeah, and we've had pretty positive feedback so far. But what I need everyone to do is I need you to share us on social media, get the name out there, because I'm trying to get our subscriber count to 100 by the end of May. And we've only got 2 weeks left, and I think at last count we were on 89. So we need 11 more subscribers. So, everyone out there, make sure you share this video on social media. Okay? So give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. And now, go on, now. No, no, where is it? There. Oh, did you guys know that little bell next to the subscribe button? If you hit that, you'll get sent a notification every time I post a video, so you definitely won't miss one. So hit the little bell as well as the subscribe button. Alright? And as I say, 11 more subscribers we need, so push the channel. Okay, thank you for joining us. Goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya.